Hello everyone, this is the Element. I'm going to show you how to get your textures in the game for San Andreas. First thing we do is open ZModeler up, and I'll open up a model that I've been working on for quite some time. As you can see here, this is what it looks like. It's got a texture on it, and if we go to the texture materials editor, open that up, we can see all these textures right here of everything that I have changed as far as how it's going to look in the game. You got to make sure the names are correct. Like for instance, I have the hot knife body 128A. If you go down here at the very bottom where it's got the texture layer section, you'll see that the same name is there as well. You click on that and it comes up with this materials, and I'll move this out a bit so you can see the name. Hot knife body 128A TGA. For this earlier one, I had it at 512 by 512, but I reduced it down to 256 by 256. You don't really need it larger than 512 by 512. If you do have it larger than 512 by 512, it's going to make your TXD too large if you're going to have it to set up for download somewheres. Now once you make sure that all those are correct, you write them down somewhere so you don't forget how exactly you have them set up. And because it assigns it to this diff, the names of those textures are assigned to this diff once you export it. So we'll do that. I'll say no for right now. And then I'm going to open up TxdWorkshop 4.5. That's what I'll work with. And I find that TXD. You can open the image file where all the TXDs and diff files are located. But since I already have it out, I'm just going to need the TXD for that. And I'll open that up. Since I'm working on the hot knife TXD, that's what I'll open. As you can see right here, the name is exactly the same, hot knife body 128A. Here's the new texture that I added to it. It's a 256 by 256. And since I don't have an alpha, I don't need another texture for it. If you have alpha textures and your program does not save it in a proper TGA format when you import it, and you'll know once you import it in the TxdWorkshop, you'll see it all scrambled up. That means it's not properly saved as that format. Now I have here in this one, I have two textures that uses an alpha. This one right here, front CD. You'd want to click that, and as you can see, you use two bitmap images to get around this little error or little bug that TxdWorkshop 4.5 has. You'd want to save one PMB of a colored one, which you're going to see in the game, and then you're going to save a second one, which is an alpha channel, which is just a black and white image in PMB. BMP, excuse me, BMP format. So in that way it'll look good like this. White is what's going to show, and the black areas are what's going to be transparent. Now how you would do this is you would double click on that texture, and you would first do image first, import your color image. Then you switch over to alpha mask, and then you import your black and white image, and then make sure that you have it named correctly as you have it set up in ZModeler. Double click this, and then you'd want to click the alpha is used. If you click it, if you check it, and it disappears, you just type it right in. Type the name of that texture and add an A at the end for alpha. And then you want to check the compressed button and say OK. And you can see there front CD alpha. Very important that you do that. The main name has to be what you first assigned it to or gave it when you put it into the assigned it to the model in ZModeler. And then you would save it as its TXD. Since I work with the hot knife diff, I saved it as TXD hot knife TXD. Now there's two ways you can put them in here, two programs. One, you could use img.tool. You would open that up, and open the GTA 3 image file, which is located in your game folder file. And then you would do edit and then find hot knife. Make sure it's spelled right or else it won't show up. Have to delete the T on here. It's kind of slow when you're trying to record and show open programs at the same time. As you can see, it's right down here at the bottom, right here. Hot knife diff and the hot knife TxD. To replace the diff, you'd right click and use replace. Find where you saved that, yours, and do the same thing for the hot knife TxD. Replace. Then you could either rebuild it before you close it, or just close it and then exit. Or if others, I don't know if you have, but there's this other program that's called GGMM, GTA Garage Mod Manager, and that comes up and it shows you all the cars in here. If you go down to the bottom, type in the name of that car you're replacing. It replaces cars and weapons. I have the hot knife, so I'll punch in hot knife and it'll automatically search for it and it'll find it. As you can see off to the side here in this preview window to show you the model. I've already installed it here, but I'll show you how to do it. You just right click in the window, manual mod install. If you have any of these lines right here, the ID line, handling line, specialty and handling line, colors and car mods, you would add those in, type those in. All I have right now is the diff model and the TxD textures. That's all. What I'm going to do is you just click the little folder and find where you saved them out and load them up. If you've got a collision file that you specifically made for your model, then that's where you would put it in. You'd search for it where you found it, where you saved it, and you'd load it up, click install, then exit, and then you're ready to go. Very important that you make sure that your names of your textures that you assign when you was modeling the automobile or whatever you're working on is the same name, spelled the same way when you put it in your TxD. If you don't see it in the game, if it's white, then go back and check the spelling. I hope this helps you out. Thank you very much. This is the Alley Man. Hope you have fun.